So I figure since we got a lot of things changing in the stable, there's no point in talking about the 2-year-olds anymore. A lot of them are turned out. A lot of them are going to continue to race. I guess I can run through them quickly just to let everybody know which ones are still racing, which ones are turned out. I've talked about the ones coming back. I guess I can do a quick list of that also. But I do want to talk about, let's call it the sales report. Now, the sales report is mostly what we've done. You guys know we bought horses in Ohio. We have 16 Ohio breds right now before the end of the year that will likely get to closer to 20. So we have 16 right now. Ontario breds, I know a lot of you are saying, geez, are you going to get more Ontario breds? Just wait and see what shows up on the site. As of right now, the way I calculate it, as of Tuesday morning, we should have 17 Ontario bred yearlings in our stable. 7 Pennsylvania breds. That's plenty for Pennsylvania. We get another one of those, fine. New York, we have 4 right now for New York. New Jersey, we have 3 for New Jersey. And of course, 2 for Indiana with our boys, Fox Valley Britska and Carry a Big Stick. So that's what we've bought so far. We have, as I said, 52 horses in the barn as of Tuesday. Let's say as of Tuesday, there'll be 52 yearlings in the barn from various jurisdictions. Amy's breaking the speed limit. That's the bell that you hear when she breaks the speed limit. I guess I can't talk. I don't have my seatbelt. So 52 horses in the barn. Now, obviously, this past Friday, there was a sale in PEI. I had sent out a number of emails. Now, I just left Lexington, and it was funny because we had a couple of new clients in the barn today, and they're members of another fractional ownership group. And I said the difference between the other fractional ownership groups and us is for a lot of those groups, at least one of those groups that does very well also, and you know who does, is Landmark. They do a great job, Howard and Mark Stacy and whatnot, and you have to buy in and then they go buy the horses. Well, we're the reverse of that. We go buy the horses and then you can buy in. So as I leave Lexington, rather than saying, here's a list of the horses we have purchased for our group, I leave Lexington with a invoice for a few $100,000 American. So when PEI came up, geez, I'm really trying to get everything situated. People put into the horses that they wanted to get into and take stock of that. It's kind of an inopportune time. And there was a really nice horse in PEI selling, was an Ontario bred, a Warwe Needy, very, very well bred sister to Dialamara, probably worth 18 or 20,000. I got pictures of her. I talked to a couple of my friends that are trainers down there that saw the filly. They priced her around the same, 18 or 20. So it was simple. I asked all of our clients, rather than me going and sticking my neck out in Prince Edward Island for a horse, let's call a spade a spade. If I can put together 80, maybe 75% of the ownership group priced at 18 to 20, I'd be interested in bidding. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pass. We got to 62% interest spoken for the filly, which was still obviously too low for me. So I made a compromise. I said, rather than going to 18 or 20, let's go to 15 or 15.5, and then I'll work with the 62%, hopefully at a reduced rate. That 62 or 63 would grow to 70, which would be a little more pliable and something I could work with. Unfortunately, we didn't get the filly. She went for $16,000. Probably would have went for a little bit more, probably $18,000 or $20,000, and we didn't get her. So when it comes to even London, this coming week at London, I can't be any more clear about this. I've had a number of clients come forward. I've had a couple of people say, I would like to spend X amount of dollars on hip number so-and-so. I will buy 50%, 20%. We do have people that have said that, and I will go there with that premise in mind. I will not color outside the lines in London. I can't. The timing is horrendous. It's not horrible, but it puts me in a tougher spot because the revenue we could use for the people buying horses in London, theoretically, we could also use for Lexington, and I would rather use it for Lexington, go to Harrisburg with a clean slate, all our financing in place, and look for some horses in Harrisburg. In my mind, that would be a perfect scenario. So I will go to London, but it will only be under the pretenses that I will bid on horses that we have funding in place for. Do I need 100%? No. I obviously want to be able to buy a horse and have some of our clients buy in afterwards. Of course I would. But I do need to have a large chunk spoken for. So there's 1 or 2 horses right now we are looking at. I'll give you an update on who they are. I won't, obviously, unless you're interested in buying into the horse. I'd rather keep the price point a little more quiet. This is our backyard, and a lot of people in Ontario do watch these videos. So I'm a little guarded in that regard. Having said that, there are a couple of horses as of right now we're looking at in London. That number might grow by a little bit, but that will be completely reliant on what our clients would have me do. My 2 cents, I think we did great in Lexington. I think we have a fantastic roster so far. I don't want to say every year, oh, it's better than last year. I don't know if it's better than last year. Last year we had some really deep, talented animals, and hopefully we have these also this year. I'm going to aim for a 2018 roster and see if we can surpass it throughout the year, and definitely into next summer. But I think we have a pretty good roster right now, especially heading into Lexington. We have 17 Ontario breds. What's that?
Harrisburg.
Did I said here? Oh, sorry, I said Lexington. Sorry, you're right, Harrisburg. We have almost 20 Ontario breds, coming up on 20 Ohio breds. We have 7 PA breds, 4 New York, 3 New Jersey, 2 Indiana. Now, I will break that down to trotter and pacer later on. If we have way more pacers and trotters, which we do in Ontario or Ohio, then we may try to even that out a little bit. But as of right now, we have a pretty good roster. If we do end up with a couple of horses out of London, great. But it'll have to be under the parameters that we set, that I've just put forth to you. And as far as PA, 7's a good number. If we end up with another one. What's that? For where? For PA, really? No, it's not possible. No, you're wrong. We were trotting fillies, Sweet Ambitions.
I said.
I know, but I'm trying. Oh, Cambridge Star. You're wrong. What I'm getting at is our numbers are going into Harrisburg. Our numbers are good. We will be at London. We are going to potentially look at a couple of horses. I would suspect, given the tone of a couple of clients that have reached out, these would be a little bit higher end. These won't be Anthony looking for value buys in London. These will be more targeted purchases, which I'm fine with also, as long as everybody is okay going in. If a gentleman calls and said he wants to buy 50% of HIP 72 and he's comfortable with the horse at $80,000, unless I think he's way overshot the mark, I'll play along, as long as, 1, I agree with the price, and 2, we can find the clients that are also interested. So that's where we sit right now. For you American clients, that's 30% off, I guess, right for you right away. For our Canadian clients, this is in our backyard at par. So that's the London sale. I think we did great in Lexington. Ohio's well represented again this year. We did well at the Ohio Select, I believe. Even at the first sale in Ohio, I think we did pretty good. Isn't that where you got Carry a Big Stick? It is. I love Carry a Big Stick. So I think we're well represented in that regard. Now, when it comes to Harrisburg, I am in the preliminary stages of starting to look through Harrisburg. We're looking for, we never got that high-end horse that we were looking for in Lexington. It just didn't happen. The horses I was looking at, a large majority of them didn't pass our vet requirements, I guess, of a passing grade on a horse. So in that regard, we passed on the horse. We didn't buy the horse. That happened 3 out of 4 times. The 4th time, the horse was okay, but I come up a little bit short. You guys know who that was. It was Rosie's War Bonds. We were the underbidder at $95,000, and Rosie went for $100,000. Probably would have went for a little bit more, but as I said, and I say it time and time again, you guys know this, when I raise my hand, it's with purpose. I don't just raise it to say, oh, I want that horse. Before I raise my hand, I have that little sale voice inside me that says, is this horse worth more than you're about to bid on? The answer is yes. I'll likely raise my hand if we can. And that's what took place. And in the case of Rosie's War Bonds, I was about to bid $105,000 for a horse that I had priced at $100,000 or a little south. I just couldn't do it. So we'll look for that horse in Harrisburg. I have a number of clients that obviously were part of the groups that we put together, bigger chunks of those groups to put together to buy that horse I'm talking about. And they reached out and said, what do we got? These are the horses I like. What do you think? So we're well on our way to narrowing down, or I guess clamping down on 2 or 3 or 4 names again we're confident and interested in. So in that regard, I'm happy. So as of right now, I'm pretty excited about what we have in the barn, what we could potentially get in London this week, and of course what we hopefully have coming from Harrisburg. Anyway, that's the state of the industry, so to speak, the state of the stable in regards to the babies. The 2-year-olds, I think we have 40 that are turned out, and I think those 40 are legitimately decent horses. Are they all going to come back great? No, I hope some do, but to be a useful horse isn't that difficult. I'm looking at bringing back Sebastian Yu and what's the filly's name? Versatile within the next 2 weeks. I told you guys all this at the start, but I'm excited to see what those horses are going to do. One, I think Rose Run Versatile was just teetering on starting to get tired, and had done a lot of work this year for a filly that missed time with OCDs, trained down, missed some training days, probably took off a little bit at the end of her year, so we stopped her a little bit earlier. Sebastian Yu, same thing, didn't have a whole lot of staking left for him. It looked like he was really starting to put it together those last 2 or 3 starts. That unfortunate break in the last race cost him a berth in the Stallion Series final. Nevertheless, took a mark of 57 and has a lot to offer us in 2020. So there's 2 horses, for instance, that we have coming back. A whole brigade of Ohio breds coming back, and a lot of really interesting Pennsylvania breds. Really excited to see Path of Totality, another horse that I'm very curious to see how she's going to come back. So that's the sales report, a little update on a couple of babies, but mostly the sales report letting you guys know what's in the barn, what we're looking for, what we're trying to find. I'm going to break down these Ontario, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and Indiana. I guess Indiana's not hard to break down. We have 2. They're both trotters. So other than that, we're going to try and break these down a little bit more so that we can get a clear picture of not just value, but maybe a little bit of a shopping list that we're looking for. So that's what I'll be doing. Definitely not during turkey time at the in-laws. I'll be eating and socializing. Made me thinking a bit about this. So I'll be back in a minute. We'll talk about the 2-year-olds, give you a quick rundown where they're at, what they're doing, when we want to have them back, and a lot more. Take care.